We got a big announcement. Big announcement. So
hey guys, before we get into the nitty-gritty of fabrication, a lot of you guys in the comments have been asking about the budget of the project. So we talked a lot about the start of this budget of €200,000 getting us through the whole 12 months, from the wages to building the cars to doing the events. So how are we doing for budget? I suppose breaking that down a little bit for you guys does kind of allow us all to take the reality of how expensive being a professional drift team is. So we've had a couple of surprises along the way, but I'm going to break down what we've spent so far, kind of what we need to spend going over the next couple of months, and it's a little bit worrying. So let's start with the garage. So the garage had to be upgraded in order for us to be able to actually do anything in there. So we had to go with our ramps, our tools, our air compressors, all the electrical systems to make sure that we could run welders and the ramps and everything else. So the total that was spent on the garage to upgrade it for the project was €8,230. So we got a couple of deals in there, and that was pretty much how much we spent on the garage. And then we move on to actually buying the two chassis for the cars. So quite a bit of difference in these. So the MX-5 was €1,000, as you guys know, quite cheap. Rough around the edges, but the Corvette, we couldn't find a crashed one or something that was flood damaged on this side of the world, so we had to buy a fully working LS3 car, which with the exchange rate, we bought it in the UK, and the collection and delivery with Henderson Transport, that came to about €26,780. So right there, we'd already spent €36,010 before we've even done anything. That was just the garage and the two chassis. Moving on to the MX-5, well, Josh bought fiberglass roof and doors for the car and a bonnet. That all came to about €1,890. He got RX-8 diff and shafts. That was €280, so they're quite cheap. And we have to include here the engine and the gearbox from my old car, because we could have sold that car for far more, or we could have sold those parts as for braking. So we have to include them in the price of this project, because if you guys were building this car, you wouldn't have them just already at your disposal. So they were roughly, all the engine parts we bought and the sequential and everything, we're conservatively saying €13,000 for that. So far, our budget is at €51,180. That's just with an engine and gearbox on the floor, two chassis, and the garage upgraded, with a few little parts for Josh's car. This is where things start to get a little bit more crazy, is the parts for the Corvette. Now, the reason that they're so expensive is that I either have an option of going to very, very experienced and excellent parts like the stuff from HGK, or I can import stuff from the States. But what I realized as I was going through trying to get some of the parts a little bit cheaper, the cost of shipping heavy parts from the US and the time scale and the fact that there's customs when it arrives to Ireland made it the same, if not more expensive, than buying the stuff from Kristaps and the guys in HGK. So yes, I'm buying some fancy parts, but it actually turned out to be one of a very clever option, really. So here is the scary part. All the carbon fiber panels for the Corvette came in at €7,200. This is the really scary one. The HGK gearbox setup, which is all of our adapters to make sure that it works in the car, the Samsonite sequential, the Winters quick change rear end, the chrome alloy shafts and hubs, and the clutch, which is a very heavy duty clutch, along with all of that, was €17,400. So that was a really, really big expense there. That's all ordered, and we're hoping to see that in the new year. I also had to get the front radiator from LG Motorsports. That radiator has an oil cooler and a power steering cooler as well. We bundled that in with their long tube headers, which are manifolds, and that came to €2,567. All the engine parts, here's another scary one, just to build the engine to be able to reliably take 600 horsepower or more, that was €7,250. Front splitter and side skirts, which we're adding on to the carbon kit, they were about €600, and a wheel spacer conversion, because the Corvette is the stupidest wheel fitment. It's like 5x120 0.65, which is the same as BMW but different by 0.65, so useless. So we're converting it all to 5x114, obviously to fit our wheels. So what that looks like is that I'm spending a ton of money and Josh is spending no money, but there's a reason for that. All of the parts that need to go into the Corvette have to be specially manufactured, and they take a long time to come. So when we put the order in, they might not land with us for another 2 or 3 months, so January, February. So that's why we had to order them so quickly. The Corvette has a lot of bolt-on parts there, which means that the car will come together quite quickly in the end. However, Josh's car, there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know turbo setups, sumps, manifolds, all the fabrication. There's far more fabrication on the MX-5 than there is on the Corvette. So while Josh hasn't spent a whole lot on parts now, a lot of the reason for that is because he doesn't know what parts to order. So I think what's going to happen here is the Corvette is going to be a big bill on parts that land in, and the car will kind of come together quite quickly, whereas the MX-5 is going to be more of a labor of love in terms of fabrication and figuring out how to make the car work along the way, which again is going to cost money. Now, if you take into account the amount of time that's been spent on the project, we've had about 4 people work 4 weeks so far on it, between all the YouTube channel stuff and all the building and stripping and everything else. And we're going to put that in at just over 9 grand, say 9,230 euro is kind of a random figure there. To be fair though, everybody who's working on the project is probably doing about 70 hours a week, maybe 80 hours a week, and getting paid for 40 hours a week. So, and already on a bit of a pay reduction because of COVID. So it's a lot of work for not a lot of money, but we are passionate about it, so we're doing it. So that brings our total right now, which is almost a depressing total, to 95,707 euro is what we have spent.
Holy shit! Oh my God, it's really not that fun.
And now we have to think about wiring, engine building, painting, fabrication, graphics, safety stuff, all the small pieces of the puzzle that haven't even been thought about yet, or at least being ordered yet. So it is a little bit worrying. That said, we have got some amazing sponsors on board and we've had great response from the sponsors. So in terms of budget, if you're asking me right now how we're doing, I would say the word is worrying. Very expensive, haven't got to the meat and two veg of the whole build yet, and we're still creeping up towards that 100,000 euro mark. So I would be a little bit worried right now. However, we're so committed now, we have to keep going. So we're going to keep hunting down the sponsors. A lot of those contracts will be signed over the Christmas period or into January. We're going to try and update you guys in January. I think by the end of January, we'll have a much clearer picture of where we're at with budget on this. But so far, yeah, very expensive. But we are building 2 dream cars, so it's not going to be cheap. And we want to build them to the best. So, you know, they're not going to be cheap. That said, I am excited to move on to a stage now, which is the fabrication. So everything to this point on the series has been tearing everything out of the cars. Now we're going to start to moving to building the cars from fabrication onwards. So let's go back to the garage, check in with our fabricator Ryan and make a plan.
Alright, so now I am checking out the progress on the cage which Ryan is doing, which looks awesome at the moment, super tight. The cage is tacked in at the minute, and obviously before we do all the final welds, I have to sit in the car. So we've got this seat, which is a very bizarre looking seat that was recommended by Darren McNamara in Group D because it is very, very thin. With the cockpit not being huge in here, the thinner the seat, the lighter the seat, the better. It's a wraparound as well for a little bit more safety. And I put my helmet on there, and Ryan just measured that I've got about 25mm clearance between the helmet and the cage, which is actually better than I had in the 180SX before. But today is not about sitting in a car all day because Ryan has lots more work to do. Me and you, Josh, are on the road because we're going to be picking up parts for the cars, including the wheels, and we're going to be taking these grubby helmets to go get them custom airbrushed. So we're going to pack everything into the van, head up the road, see our friends at CM Wheels and Strom Wheels.
That's missing up somewhere.
It's very cool. Oh, you'll never see it again. Alright guys, so we're here in the north of Ireland at one of the biggest wheel distributors, retailers in the whole of Europe, maybe even the world. Huge amount of wheels come out of here every week. You guys have noticed that we've partnered up with CM Wheels and Strom Wheels. We're about to go and see where all those wheels are. So this is one of the warehouses, and I mean one of the warehouses, and there's a ton of wheels in here. So if you guys want to get something for your OEM car, for example, you've got a Golf or a Volkswagen, so Golf is a Volkswagen. If you've got a Golf, or you've got a BMW, or you've got a Merc, or you've got an Audi, like basically, this is sort of like you can grab something from like Beaman or Quantum 44 or Radiate, which are very, very nice forged or fancy wheels. But you can also get your OEM style wheels, which are like these, which are similar to the Volkswagen wheel. So this stuff is, you don't want to pay OEM prices. Nobody's going to pay OEM prices. They're ridiculous. But you can get exactly the same thing here in CM Wheels for like super reasonable price. put a set of tires on them, hit that button on the internet, and your car looks way, way better within a couple of days of them landing. So that's what these guys do, and you can see packing stuff up all day, every day.
It's amazing here.
Customers, it's pretty much amazing. Look how much wheels there is here. It's crazy.
Just stacks and stacks.
And this is the best thing. Like if you go on some websites, you might order and then they got to go get that wheel from somewhere else. But here at CM, they have them in stock. So within a day or two, you've got the wheels on your car. Now the wheels we're going to put onto our drift car are not here. They're in a different warehouse. But I want to go show you something that you probably won't see anywhere else. And this is Chris's actual personal car, and it's in this garage back here. And it is probably one of the nicest cars I've ever seen in my life. All right, so Chris is the man behind all of this. He started this whole company with one set of wheels and just kept growing and growing and growing. He's probably one of the busiest men I've ever met in my life. This guy just never turns off. But when you work hard and you build a really good company on really good products, you can reward yourself every now and again. And Chris has one of my favorite cars in the world. Check this out. So this is a brand new 2020 with 400 miles on it, Ferrari 488 Pista, which is like the nicest Ferrari you can buy, and this one is absolutely brand spanking new. This is sort of the race-inspired version of the 488, all the carbon, and inside you've got all the Alcantara. Like it's even got no carpets on the ground. It's just like a stripped-out race car. It looks amazing. But what I love about this car, even more so, is that Chris is from CM Wheels is a wheel guy. So instead of buying a set of wheels for his Ferrari, he actually designed his own wheels. So these wheels that you see on this car are a one-off set that he designed himself. This stuff is like super expensive from the main manufacturer, and you guys know if you're going to a main manufacturer for wheels, it's like crazy, crazy money. But these guys have the same quality, get them within 2 days, and if you go on the website, you'll realize that nobody in Ireland or anywhere in the UK should be driving around the car without tasty wheels on, because they are that affordable. That just transforms the look of your car. So that's what we're going to try and do with the drift cars today, and we're going to head over to a different warehouse where we're actually going to show you guys the wheels, actual wheels that are going on all of our drift cars, and we might have another little surprise for another project as well. So let's hop in the van and head over there now.
Here at Drift Games, we absolutely love online drifting. But more importantly, for you guys watching at home, we want to get you in the game as well. So we've partnered up with digitalmotorsports.com, Ireland's first online sim store, who are experts in everything when it comes to online drifting. And they're going to give you guys a full free sim rig at the end of this series. Now I know you want to know, how do you win? But it's quite simple. Every single episode of Games Changers, we're going to release a letter. It looks a bit like this. And that letter will form a sentence. And at the end of the series, the first person who can put that full sentence together correctly wins a full simulator. Now that's not bad going.
All right, so we were very close to one of our new partners, Motion or Design, here in the north, and we came by to see how those guys are getting on. So we're going to go inside. This place is just mental. It's like a conveyor belt of awesomeness. They basically build these Rangers and Transits to a full custom spec for people buying them, and they're brand new. So I want to go in and have a little look around, show you guys what they're all about. Complete reinvention of the Ranger and the Transit. As you guys can see, they changed absolutely everything. Full custom stitching all the way through. You get carbon fiber on the dash. You can also choose, when you're buying one, to custom spec it to whatever stitching you want, whatever color logos you want, whatever color Ranger you want. This one's sort of, as you can see, got these big wide, actual real carbon fiber fenders, not like carbon fiber skin. Full carbon fiber on the hood.
The whole back is actually carbon.
Yeah,
so you can't properly tell because it's not being glossed over. This is carbon.
This is actual carbon fiber, the whole wing.
I'll say this is the other option that they also do as well. So they also is a special extra edition.
This is the one I would pick. Forged carbon Ranger. This is a white Ranger, full forged carbon. Forged carbon spoiler.
The worst thing is forged carbon doesn't come across on camera.
But in real life, this looks incredible. So a lot of Rangers, I used to have one myself, you're bolting on the arch. So you're essentially just getting some arches and kind of riveting them all. These are all custom. So as you can see, no seams here. They go straight on to, that's the full arch. Everything's carbon, custom. So if you want a Ranger, this is definitely the place to come. But I know, see me guys, want something, we're not going to stop them working. We might want something a little bit more practical, and this is what you've got. It's the Transit, which is definitely the coolest transit van I've never ever looked at a transit van in my life and gone, I would rock that one every day. Like, look at all the carbon on the front of a transit van.
So they literally get the van, is it open? So they get the van from new, they strip out the seats, the steering wheel, everything.
Yeah, so it's all done, and then this one is near being ready. So this is like, someone has requested this particular color option and wheel option, so they've gone with like a kind of a champagne, and they've gone with orange logos. This one is still waiting on its seats and a few other bits and pieces, but like, it's all carbon fiber on the dash. It's amazing, like, for a transit van, like, which is supposed to be the most boring functional thing. So they're pretty backed up on orders. So if you want one of these, and you do, let's be honest, go onto the website, have a look at the full spec list on these. It's a bit of a waiting list, but you can get on it. Motion or, yeah, like, incredible stuff. Right guys, we're here at another warehouse where we have tons of wheels and tires everywhere. This is another warehouse for CM wheels and Strom wheels. Now, we mentioned in the last part, these guys have everything in stock. Well, here you go. 1 day, 2 day delivery, your car can be looking pretty awesome. But that's not the reason we're here. We're here to show you the new wheels for all of our drift cars, and they're over here. So I've got my little screwdriver. I'm gonna open the boxes and we're gonna take a look. What wheels are we running on our drift cars? So these wheels will be on Corvette and the MX-5 and the Mustang. Every wheel we open, you gotta wait like 20 minutes before we actually get to the wheel. More packaging. Boom. Look at this.
There we go.
That is the wheel. So this is the Strom DS25, and it is in sort of a dark chrome. This wheel has been designed for drifting. You'll see the actual outer edge of the wheel, because, you know, obviously for debeating or for the fact that you obviously hit other cars in drifting, this is to reinforce the edge of the wheel, so basically it doesn't crack and your tire comes off and all that kind of stuff. So clever thinking there. This is going to be on the front of all 3 cars, but the back one is really tasty. Oh, this is the jazzy one. And check out the concave on these now. Oh,
That's the one though.
that is a hell of a wheel. So this is an 18 by 10.5, very extreme concave. These wheels are actually run in 2020 by Dwayne McKeever and Kevin Quinn in Drift Masters. So those guys are running a bronze, and Dwayne is running this particular wheel, and these are going to look absolutely bananas on our cars. So we're going to pack these up into the van, and we might even be getting wheels for something else here, Josh. But it's a very secret project. It's not actually secret, we announced it before. I bought a Golf van. I know realistically you've gone through all of this video because you've really wanted to hear, how's the Golf van doing? I know I've got...
No one was asking.
I have been inundated with 2 DMs about the Golf van, and we're going to pick up a set of wheels for that today as well. So we're going to grab some wheels for the Golf van. I know you're all super hyped about that. That's really the game changer of the whole series. And we've got the wheels for all of our other cars. Let's pack them up. Let's get back on the road. Alright, our next stop is Jordan McCann. We're here in the north of Ireland, somewhere, and in this little porta cabin right here, some of the best airbrushed helmets, custom motorsport helmets in Ireland are made. And Jordan reached out to us a couple of weeks ago, said, you guys are wearing plain helmets, you need something more jazzy. And we're going to go and have a chat with him and see how he actually creates these awesome helmets. So it's going to meet Jordan, have a chat, and I kind of am, like you guys probably at home, pretty interested in how he actually does it, because I have no idea. Hey Jordan, how are you?
Hi Dave, how are you?
I'm good. Good to meet you in the flesh. Now,
Yeah.
Me and Josh have been actually looking forward to coming up here for some time, because we have no idea how helmets are. Like, we see helmets and we go,
Yeah.
surely this is like a wrap or a sticker on this, because the detail is so kind of intricate. But talk us through the process of how you make a helmet like something like this.
Well, basically, the customer leaves a helmet to me in this form here, often scraped, battered and bruised.
So you can actually, because we were worried, because we've a couple of scuffs on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of hit the cage a few times.
It's totally fine. I can just rub it down and prime it and rub it down again, and it's like a brand new helmet.
This is the bit I'm fascinated by. So
yeah, these 4 helmets here is actually a work in progress. basically the way it works is I paint them a solid colour. So the first colour, you're basically doing a helmet in reverse. Your first colour is your pinstripe colour.
Oh right, so you don't actually. I know.
So the likes of this helmet here, this helmet was painted gold, and then using fine line tape, I lay the design on. It's basically like drawn only with a roller tape. And then what I start and do is I start and paint the colours. So I painted that gold, put all the stripes on, and then painted it white. Then done the names on fading, masked the white off, then go to the next colour. So the next colour on this helmet was the top, which was black. Do the ribbon and stuff on the top, the flicks and fades, mask it all out again, and then green.
Is this painted?
Yep, that's all painted.
So that's like, wow.
Everything.
10 processes to actually.
That logo alone took about 2 hours. That ribbon.
That would take me about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I know,
And it wouldn't come out like that.
and it would just be a blur of mess that you wouldn't even understand. I
Yeah.
can't believe that. Like I thought you would like spray this bit, then this bit, then this. But you're saying that you spray the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then go again and go again and go again
Yeah.
in reverse. That is
The
so
whole
much work.
helmet's done in layers, and then each logo is done in layers. So this ribbon at the top, this Manus Kelly ribbon at the top, right? I created a stencil and painted it white. Created another stencil and painted it grey, and then had to create 2 or 3 stencils for every single name, flag, date.
It's gone beyond the helmet to sort of a work of art at that stage.
Yeah.
It's a completely unique piece.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't. No one else could reproduce it the same way, which is
Not exact. I couldn't even take that helmet and reproduce it exact.
How long would a helmet take you start to finish?
I don't really know. I do them in batches. So
Yeah.
basically, I start a batch of helmets. If I have a helmet on a Monday, I have it ready for a customer on a Saturday. So
That
even
quick? Well, I know what they want to see. It's finished
Yeah.
helmets, and we have 2 special
Yeah.
helmets in here, which I've sort of peeked in and looked at. One we're familiar with.
I almost don't want to trip over it because anything you trip into.
Everything here is like a work of art. So
Yeah.
this is Dwayne McKeever's helmet.
Yeah,
So this is like, so you've got his number on the top,
yeah,
and it's got this pattern over the carbon. So it's a
Yeah.
carbon stilo, but it's got like a pattern through it.
yeah,
And then this is all custom, the Irish flag.
yeah.
That's a really nice helmet. I saw that when Dwayne sort of put it up on social media. I was like, that looks amazing. And it, do you know, it adds so much more professionalism to a
Yeah.
driver. Like it,
Yeah.
it gives a character. And
Yeah.
then this one I like a lot as well because I like
Yes.
the colours in it.
This one was probably my most time-consuming one yet.
All these lines down here.
Yeah, so many lines, so many flicks and fades. Basically with this helmet here, I threw myself into the deep end. Like I'd never done anything as complex, and I just sort of went at it, took a gamble, and that's just sort of the way
That
it worked
looks
out.
like that's incredible. But I suppose it's a labour of love, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
like an artist. This is
Yeah.
like an artist with a piece. Everything you send out is totally unique to that helmet.
Yeah.
And there's no two alike.
I get a lot of customers that do design their own helmets. They literally supply me with a graphic design. This one was designed by me and my designers. I have 2 designers I work with.
So you're saying that basically you can A, have a perfect image in your head and get someone to graphic design your helmet, you
Yeah.
can reproduce that. B, you can have no idea
Yeah.
and sort of say I like this kind of helmet or this
Yeah.
kind of style and go with it. And that brings us on to why we're here with our helmets. Because it's not just as simple as me and Josh, of course, would be try and up the entertainment value of getting a helmet. So instead of saying, because of course Jordan offered us to design a helmet with graphic design, and we sort of showed him a couple of helmets we liked. I have no idea what Josh has picked.
Yeah.
Josh has no idea what I've picked, and we have no idea what the final design is. You know what the final designs
Yeah.
look like, but we have no idea. But because he's so good at this, I said, wouldn't it be more fun if we came back in a future episode and we had no idea? So they're revealed to us for the very first time. So this is
Not
how
really,
boring they
not
are.
anymore.
They're both the same helmet too, which means that whatever we see will be kind of on the same helmet. We might try and change up some of the visor stuff. I'm sure Jordan's going to come up with something crazy on these. And I think this could be the most excited I've been about any part of this process so far, because I have no idea what it's going to look like. Alright, so we'll be back in a future episode to collect the helmets. I'm sure you guys are just as excited as us to see them. Jordan, we're going to let you get to work, and we're going to head back down the road and see how Ryan's getting on with the fabrication. It's been a long old day, but we've still got some travelling to do.
I think Ryan may have gone by the time we get there.
But we'll still see what he's done. We'll be there. So, right, let's hit the road. Whew, we're back. That was a long day, Josh.
That's very long.
Oh, so we've got, look at that. We've got the roof bars in now. It's very tidy.
Starting to look like a cage.
It's starting to look like a cage. It's starting to look a little bit like a race car. I kind of let him have his artistic freedom with it, as long as it's legal, safe. And then he said, might just add some touches to make it look jazzy. And I went, I'm into jazzy. I'm into that.
I'm a pretty jazzy man.
Right, so let's grab the wheels, get him in the shed. Okay, a little breath. We got all the wheels in. It's not where they're staying, but they're there for now. We got a big announcement. Big announcement. So we've been teasing you with a little bit of social media that we had a big announcement at the end of this episode. Guess what it is? Well, you guys know we're running the DS25 Strom wheels on all our drift cars for 2021. But we were talking to Chris, and he was thinking that we might design our very own wheel. What do you think, guys? A Drift Games wheel? Big deep dish, JDM style, concave? Well, what do you think? Should we design our own wheel? And that's basically a wheel that will be for sale for everybody to buy. We want to get your opinion on it. Should we design our own wheel? What should we design? What would you like to see? Big concave wheel, deep dish wheel? You know, this will be sort of a reasonably priced wheel that can be any design we want. So if you like some wheels out there, or you've got an idea for something, let us know in the comments, and also let us know what you think about the rest of the episode. Did you like the seats? Did you like the wheels? Are you excited for the golf fan? No, okay. So are you also excited for the helmets to be painted? We're definitely most excited about that. We can't wait to go down and see what Jordan comes up with. Let us know in the comments, guys, and of course subscribe to the channel. Your subscriptions, you guys watching the videos, you guys liking and commenting, you're keeping the dream alive right now. And it's barely alive because we are spending a lot of money, but we've got some great partners on board, as you can see, and things are sort of going to plan. So let's keep going with the fabrication on the Corvette, which will continue in the next couple of episodes. We got, hey, we're back in. So enjoy the episode. You've already enjoyed the episode. Why would we be going back on my brain? 15 hours of driving.
Just wrap it up, Dave.
Thank you guys for watching. We're getting there. Just hit the old subscribe button, hit a like, hit a comment, hit a bell, hit Josh in the face, whatever. So we'll see you on the next episode, and hopefully more parts, more progress.